To the loan officer training with the mortgage calculator. Today we're going to be talking about increasing your referral network. We'll get started here in just a moment, just waiting to go live on all the different platforms and give everybody a chance to jump on here. We appreciate those tuning in early. We put the chat up on the screen. That way you can drop a comment there in the chat as you tune in. Hope everybody's been having a great week so far, getting ready for the holiday weekend. Go ahead and drop a comment there in the chat as you tune in, and you can drop questions in the chat as well as we go through the presentation here for today. All right, it looks like we are live on all the platforms, so we will go ahead and get started. Keep dropping comments there as you tune in, and feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat as well. But we'll take the chat off the screen for now. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our president, Nick Hershey, and our sales manager, Jose Gonzalez. This is our loan officer training that we do every Tuesday and Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, we're going to be talking about increasing your referral network. So a little bit different here today, talking about a little bit more of the front end of things. And so our sales manager, Jose Gonzalez, with 28 years of experience as a loan officer and a realtor, he gets referrals both ways, right? Back and forth. And so he's going to be talking about increasing your referral network. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Jose.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for tonight's training. Now, you can't be 28 years in the business without having some type of a sustainable career, right? You can't always be chasing new business because, it's a lot of inertia to break when you are chasing new business, a lot of things that can happen, as we all know. But referral business and repeat business, because a repeat customer is a referral. They referred themselves, right, to you because they were so delighted by your service. They want to come back for more, right? So don't forget that when we're talking about referrals, it's not just the customer referring other business to you, but the customer doing additional deals with you. So definitely referrals are easier, right? That's like the easy button. They come to you. They've already shopped around, done their research. Somebody referred them to you, and basically, you're just going to be just pretty much just verifying everything they already know because they're ready to work with you, right? That's the key. There's nothing worse than to give it your all to somebody just to have them decide to work with somebody else due to some reason, whatever it may be. Maybe it's not a valid reason, maybe you didn't get a shot, but that's just the way it is when somebody doesn't know you yet, right? You haven't built that credibility, that trust, all of the things that we're going to discuss in this training to try to add sustainability to your growth as an MLO, for those of you that are new to the business, and for those of you that are not new to the business but trying to figure out a way to reinvent yourself in these very tumultuous times in the finance industry. Well, these are some tips to try to differentiate yourself and increase your production. So let's get right into it. So, what is a referral network, right? Well, first, actually, let's get back into my increasing your referral network tips to increase your referral network and then earn referrals on demand, right? It's a beautiful thing when you get that referral. It's like a low hanging fruit, nice and ripe for you, right? Not going to give you a stomach ache. So, what is a referral network? Okay, let's get clinical here, right? A group of people who will constantly refer your company or you, right, to interested leads and can be made up of individual customers, business customers, business professionals, employees, or formal referral partners. The goal of a referral network is to bring in new business, right? Notice I'm emphasizing new business, but it's a warmed up for you, warmed up new business, I should say there, to bring in new business by encouraging the people in it to share your brand and products with their friends and colleagues. A referral network is a cost effective way to acquire new customers, right? Because remember, we're not having to reinvent that wheel every single time. So we're talking about it's sort of a type of economy of scale. You have a lot of ambassadors of goodwill out there um, pushing your services. A referral network requires little monetary investment, thus yields a high return on investment, right? Your investment of the money and the investment of your time. Time is our most valuable asset. And very important about a referral network is to note that referred leads are more likely to become loyal customers after the first transaction and share your brand with others. And obviously, loyal customers also means that they're going to come back for two, three, four, and five deals. And I know I'm seeing that a lot with our team already, where I'm seeing people close deals and then I'm seeing that name come a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth time because we are delighting them with our service as consultants. So, what are the types of referral networks? Well, we were just discussing right now the customer referral network, right? Where your customers will either be coming back for more or referring you their friends and family. In order for this to be effective, you have to be a loan consultant. You have to be sure to go over the final loan terms and ensure the borrower's objective was met, right? Get that confirmation from them and try to go to the closing and follow up after the closing. We're going to get more into additional tips, but I just wanted to throw those bullet points in there regarding our customer referral network. Then we have our referral partner network, right? That's one of the ones that we think the most about. The first one there, realtors, purchase money, right? Realtor gives you that hot potato. Either they're already under contract if you are already a member of their referral network, right? If you already have that trust and credibility, they're going to give you that deal like that. Or, but if they want to build it, they may start with giving you the customer to pre-approve. So obviously we love our realtors. Attorneys are good referral partners. Divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, estate planning. Accountants, very good, especially for our business purpose loan referral program, which we're going to touch base on it a little bit below. And financial planners are also good, definite good referral partners, because all of those people are working with people with money. Either the accountants are handling the money at the end of the year, the financial planners are handling the money at the beginning of the year, the attorneys, divorce is the number one reason, and death, number one, and I don't know which is one and which is two, of properties being sold, meaning new loans they're going to get, or cash out refi to buy somebody out, right? So a lot of things going on there. And I know that that those are big markets that can be developed that very few of you are really tapping into those. And those are the real big deals too, by the way. Those are the real big deals. They're going to give it to you in a silver platter when that accountant says, I just did their taxes. They need some more tax write offs. They need to buy a $1.2 million home right away, or else they're going to pay $100,000 in taxes. You think that's going to be a motivated buyer who's going to be working with you? Then you have employee referral network, where employees of the company can actually bring new business. And then we have the cross referral network, which is people from the same industry. And that may perplex some of you, but you got to understand we have a lot of products, right? We have a lot of things that we can do at the mortgage calculator that a lot of other people could only dream of. All they can do is cookie cutter deals. So I know there's people on our team that get referrals from other MLOs out there, not with our company, because they can't do the deals we do, but they don't want to come over here. So they just send the deals to the MLOs. So, and a couple of good ways that you can work cross referrals are again, touching base on our business purpose referral program. And that's something you can participate in once you're a senior, is for business purpose loans, right? DSCR loan, closing in an entity, not using any personal income of the borrower, fixed flip loan, ground up construction loan, commercial loan. Um, you can sign up a referral partner and they can refer you those business purpose loans. And that referral partner can be a realtor, can be an attorney, can be an accountant, can be a financial planner, or it can be another loan officer, can be even an investor, as long as they all have LLCs that we can pay. So, we have the business referral program and commercial referral. So, a lot of different ways that you can work referrals beyond the obvious. Now, so you understand a little bit about the power of referrals. I'll throw a little data at you, right? According to Nielsen, 84%, that's a pretty high number. 84% of consumers trust referrals from friends and family above all other forms of advertising. And I know that for a fact because I just had some work done in my house. I searched around, saw some, supposed people to work with, and then somebody else who does work for me recommended the individual, and I called that person and I worked with them and stopped my search right there because I felt more comfortable doing it that way. Believe me, that's just human nature. Nielsen also found that customers are 4 times more likely to use the service after being referred by a friend, right? They're going to give you the benefit of the doubt a lot more than they would if you were just John Doe off the street that they happen to pick out of some guide on the street. Social media today reports that 78% of business to businesses suggest that referral marketing is the most effective in generating quality leads. So that's generating business from businesses that you do business with. That's B2B. So that is power right there. The trust factor, right? That is what provides access to new potential customers otherwise not available. These are higher quality leads ready to work with you. In other words, there's a good probability they're not going to stab you in the back and just ghost you, right? Because you were referred and they really have a lot of trust in their friends, usually that referred you. And again, these referrals, due to the fact that you're not going to be spinning your wheels as much and having to constantly reinvent the wheel, these referrals are going to result in more sustainable growth, right? Higher ROI, more sustainable growth. So, what do you do to build a referral network, right? I mean, easier said than done, but there's a surefire uh, way here to do it, and it's going to be pretty obvious stuff, right? The first and most important one: make sure your business is worth referring, right? Real important there. You got to delight them with your service. So establish trust, right? We keep talking about trust, credibility. Well, establish trust with the borrower and with your referral partners, right? That's going to come with how you handle your business. You know, are you knowledgeable? Are you following up with all your continuing education to be able to provide good advice? Are you just winging it? You know, I mean, there's a lot of ways that people can tell if you know what you're doing, and eventually they uh, trust you, both your borrowers, clients, and all of the industry professionals and referral partners. Trust goes hand in hand with building credibility. You know, we're talking about education and knowledge. Knowledge is power. Delight them with your service by providing exceptional service. And that can be as simple as pick up the phone when they call, return phone calls, right? Return emails, basic stuff. Communicate clearly with them, always on point and always transparent and honest. Taking the borrower's fiduciary, our fiduciary responsibilities, the borrower's needs, always above and beyond everything else. That's who we serve. We serve the borrower. Gain a commitment from the borrower, reaffirmation that they like your services. Let's just say that, and know when to ask for the referral. Right. In other words, don't just ask for it even before you've closed or right after the closing, just as an act of desperation. No, it should be a naturally occurring event that your customer is going to express their delight to you of the service that you've provided, because everything that you've done, remember I mentioned, follow up with them, make sure that their objective was met, go over those final terms. Don't just assume, this is clear to close, you're closing, okay, let me go on to the next. Just, put the eyes on those dots. I mean, the dots on those eyes and cross your T's. So sorry about that. And make sure, because it's at the when you're rounding third base and going home, you're at the finish line. Don't fumble the ball, right? Don't fumble the ball just as you're going to go past the goal line there by totally just ghosting them. And it does help to specialize in a niche. Now, that doesn't mean only work that niche, but you do want to have some type of specialization. Like, for example, we at the Mortgage Calculator, you definitely would know we specialize in investments, right? In our investors. That's not all that we do, but I would say investors and non QM, they go hand in hand. Those would be our niches, but obviously we do everything. But we have our specialization, which we've done very well in. Close the sale aided by an accurate action plan, right? This action plan that you would provide to the borrower at the beginning with the course of action that is going to be taken with the loan, with the pre-approval, with the processing, closing, right? You want to have some type of an action plan, especially if it's a little bit of a complicated deal. You want to give them a little bit of an outline of what to do, what not to do, to make sure that there's no miscommunication, and at the end the deal gets blown because of something that they obviously should not have done, but they did, and it was so obvious you didn't tell them, but maybe you should have, right? So don't assume, because you know what happens when you assume. It's always best to communicate clearly. Stay connected with the customer during and after the deal. You lost if you do not get repeat business from the customer. So the battle was lost, or the war was lost. You may have won the battle with the closing, but lost the war because you did not get any repeat business from the customer. One and done is not going to result in a sustainable career. Host, and here's another interesting one. Host a Facebook group or an event. It could be like an annual get together, dinner, celebration of everybody's, closings or whatever. Host a Facebook group or event where your past and current clients can share their experiences. This is one that I've seen some people use very effectively. I mean, if you don't, so it doesn't mean you have to host them in your home. You want to host them in a lounge, a restaurant, wherever, a meeting hall. But that is a nice way. And by the way, our the annual event that we're having. Is a great one to have your customers go if any of your customers are local, or some may actually be planning to go to South Florida for vacation in the cold winter, and that may be one reason for them to go. Networking tips, right? So now this is where we bring it all together and try to give you some substantive data, guidance here, right? So again, uh, attend industry events. I can't harp on that more. Uh, I mean, I have probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 thousand business cards that I've accumulated from all the networking that I have done, probably more local, national, international. And I'm continually reaching out to the network for business, right? And those end up usually being my higher dollar amount deals, right? Because there's trust already built. I've gone to all of these NAR annual conferences. Obviously, I'm a realtor, but as a loan officer, you could go to those events. Why would you not want to go, for example, to the NAR annual conference, which is held in really cool places throughout the US once a year, usually in November? Why would you not want to go there if there's going to be 20,000 realtors there and you are a loan officer? There's not going to be 20,000 loan officers there. I can guarantee you that. If there's 500, or I think if there's 200 loan officers, there's probably too many. Most of them will probably be doing booths there, and then you get some that actually go to the event. Those are the smart ones, right? Anywhere in your conference, your state realtor conferences as well. For example, Florida, we have Florida Realtors. Florida Realtors has 2 conferences. Has one in August and has one in January. Both are attended by thousands of agents. Florida Realtors has 180, 190, or I think maybe now 200,000 members. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people in all those events, local realtor events and investment clubs, right? A lot of these investors are members of investment clubs, and you can go to these investment clubs. You can join them, attend their events, and then I'm not going to get ahead of. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but then you can also host, then invite them to a workshop. So utilize social media. In our uh, knowledge center, we have a whole section on that for all of our new MLOs, where we basically nudge you to set up profiles in a bunch of different websites and portals that is going to help out generate more business for you, drive more business in your direction and to the company in general. Collaborate with other professionals. All of this networking is really that, but this is meaning actually collaborate on deals, right? With other professionals, either you referring somebody something you can't do for whatever reason, or they're referring you. Because remember, to receive you must give. So somebody has to start the cycle, right? So it's that's why it's great when we have our CRM. In our CRM, we can tag realtors, and Kyle goes over that all the time. Really easy to integrate realtors into our system and show them how we're adding value and collaborate with them. Now, here's what I was talking about when I was mentioning about the investment clubs and all that stuff. When you go to their events and then you network with them, and then the whole idea is then to expand on that, where you can host interactive financing workshops or events. Those can be for investors, right? I mean, as you're meeting them at their event, you can talk to them about DSCR and 2 to 8 mixed use, 5 to 8 residential, the multi units, all the different investor programs that we have, and self-employed borrower programs that we have as well, and DSCR and all this stuff, and tell them, that you want to do a workshop, and they'll probably say, sure, that's a great idea. Our members would love to would love to, be at the cutting edge of what's going on in for investment financing. And next thing you know, you're holding a workshop with 10, 20, 30, or who knows how many people there, just at your beck and call, listening to every word you're saying. And you then have like a credibility rating of like 1,000 at that moment. When now, after that workshop is over, there's going to be questions, and you're going to be the professional answering them, and I guarantee you're going to get at least one deal out of that, because you know how aggressive those investors are. These workshops or events can be with investors, industry professionals also, right? Could be realtors, the industry professionals we mentioned, realtors or accountants, or anybody like that, or other, um, um, could be other MLOs also, right? Maybe they want to eventually join us. They want to see about all these cool products out there. It's a get together also. Remember, opportunity to you to host the event, like we're doing this Saturday, where we're hosting this event for industry professionals, lenders, mortgage loan originators, realtors, title attorneys, inspectors, and whoever wants to come. First time home buyers slash DPA. I mean, I wouldn't recommend you expanding greatly on it. This is more to provide information. Now, if they absolutely DPA is the only way, well, we have a few DPA options. But the whole purpose here is just to clearly explain the programs and the obstacles to gain credibility and trust, because most of them will come because of the allure. DPA is an aphrodisiac, right? It's the allure of free money, but very few of them would actually qualify for the DPA. But the objective is to gain their trust and to build credibility. Obviously, place them in a loan if it's a DPA, whatever it may be. But remember, trust and credibility, no better way to do it than to be up there at the podium as the professional. For national borrowers would be another interesting workshop. In some parts of the country, obviously more than others. If we were to have a for national borrower workshop here in South Florida, I'm sure we'd get a few people that were wanting to know how to finance their properties or refinance. Probably get some realtors that come into, maybe even with their customers, because you can always encourage, if they do have a realtor, to bring the realtor. Then you're killing two birds with one stone. You're reaching out to the customer, and you're also reaching out to their real estate professional in one shot. So talk about maximizing your effort there. And then ITIN borrowers is another interesting workshop. That's because ITIN loans are getting a lot of traction, and also just the obvious alternative loan doc option workshops, right? A lot of people out there don't know about bank statement loans, profit and loss, 1099, asset utilization, or all of these things. So you can have a workshop on that. You could have customers and realtors go. Because basically, putting it on a nutshell, workshops combine building trust, credibility, and networking all in one place and at the same time, right? So, and there's, depending where you are, there's opportunities to hold these events. Like if you were, for example, local here in South Florida, we could have the event in our office, not inside our office space, but where we have our office has a lot of shared spaces and like a lounge space and all that kind of stuff. Where with some, and it's nice and big and open. Where with some authorization, there we could host an event like that. So that, and just like we're doing that here, you could probably do that and co-host the event maybe with a realtor. Maybe they have their office, or a title company. Maybe they have their office, or an insurance agent, and they can be co-hosts, and they can provide the locale, and maybe you can provide some refreshments and the knowledge and the presentation. So a lot of different ways to do it, but I highly recommend you all. It's not gonna happen just by sending texts and emails and being on the phone. At some point, for some part of your business, you are going to have to get up off your seat and get out there and pound the pavement. I recall that one MLO we were doing on a file review Friday, we were disclosing his file, and he got that deal by driving over an hour to a networking event that was investors, and he stood up, introduced himself during that event, right? Who he was, what he did for a living. Later on, he was networking and I guess piqued somebody's interest enough, and that person actually referred him, the investor who disclosed the deal. So you see how this can progress. Once somebody feels that you are credible and you gain their trust, they can refer you. And if they're in the biz, so this was an in the biz person referring him a deal. So that's the ultimate referral.
All right. I don't see any questions here. I would have to end it by saying, with all that being said, make sure you're at the conference next weekend, Real Estate Weekend Miami. Make sure you're there. For sure. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up then. I don't see any questions coming in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Remember, we do this 7 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jose. We'll see you all next week, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, for the next episode of the Loan Officer Training with the Mortgage Calculator. Have a great night, everyone, and a great holiday weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good Thanksgiving.